Welcome to this Daring Adventure podcast, where we work on bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to be in order to live a bigger and bolder life. In this podcast, we will provide inspiration, tips, and skills you need to make your life the adventure you want it to be. Here's your host, mindset mentor, and life coach, Trista Gurdon.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of This Daring Adventure. Thank you for joining me. Today, I'm taking some inspiration from an email that I wrote, my Monday Mindset email that I send out every Monday. And this week, I wrote about our approach. So, our approach to whatever it is that maybe we want to do or we want to accomplish or we want to experience. And I was thinking about some of the things that people say are hard to do after a certain age. And I was thinking in particular about clients I have who are expats and who are living abroad and are in their 40s and older and have moved to a new country and have found it challenging to make new friends. And this actually isn't unique to expats. Of course, I've heard this many times that it's harder to make friends once you're past a certain age. And I think there are other areas where they say once you've reached that age, once you've hit this stage in your life, it's harder. And that could be dating, it could be finding a suitable partner, getting married, right? What's that ridiculous statistic they say you have a better chance of winning the lottery or getting struck by lightning than finding a mate after 40 or whatever it is, that ridiculous one. I'm sure you've heard it. It could also be getting hired after a certain age. Like people get worried about leaving their job and trying to find something new because they think that once they've reached a certain age, it'd be harder to find a job. People won't be as willing to hire them. They say this about losing weight, right? Once you hit your 40s and whatnot, that it's harder to lose weight. There are probably a dozen areas and things that they say. There are probably many more things that this could apply to. They say, and it's they, right? I use that in quotes. They, whoever they are, they say it's harder. And I want to challenge that today. First of all, who are they? They don't exist. And even if a number of people say this, it doesn't make it true. I feel like people just repeat things without thinking. And of course, once you repeat it, then you start to believe it because a belief is just a thought you keep on thinking. And then if this is something that you're thinking and you're believing, then of course you are perpetuating that cycle because that's what your brain is going to look for. And when you have your brain in that loop and it's looking for this, it's looking for evidence, that's what you are going to find. So you just get stuck in this cycle that is self perpetuating. And I don't think that just because a number of people say it, that it's true. I think they say it, we repeat it, we keep thinking it, we turn it into a belief because we've thought it so many times, and our brain looks for evidence, and then we find it. And then we start to show up in that way. We begin to take on this energy. For instance, if you believe that for whatever, say you are looking to meet someone, to meet a new partner, but you are thinking the thought that it's impossible for you to meet someone. It's impossible for you to find someone who you'd want to date. Then imagine how you are feeling when you are thinking that thought. Discouraged, ambivalent, uninterested, defeated, discouraged. There are probably any number of feelings that would apply here. And from that feeling of discouraged, how would you be showing up? What action would you be taking? What action wouldn't you be taking? If you're thinking the thought that it's impossible for you to meet someone, that nobody exists out there, that you're too old, that it's too late, that it's not possible, then you're not going to be taking the action to actually try. And so then, of course, you're not going to achieve that result. I also think that when you're thinking that thought, you're giving off this energy. Your attitude isn't going to be very positive. And you will just continue to perpetuate that cycle as well. And it will ultimately create the result. And the result will be that it reinforces your thought that it's not possible, that you won't meet someone. Believing this thought, thinking this thought is not going to serve you in any way, shape, or form. And ultimately, it will create that result for you. If that's what you're thinking, that's the result that you will create. What can you do to change that and shift that energy around so that you can create the result that you want, whether it's a partner or a job or losing weight or making new friends? There are some questions that you can ask yourself that will help to guide you and help you to create the thoughts that you need to think in order to ultimately create the result that you want. The first question is, what is within my power? What is within your power is how you show up, what you're thinking, how you are feeling, what action you take, and what result you create. But focus on what you are thinking and what you are feeling first, because that is where your center of power exists. You always have the power to think thoughts that are going to serve you, that are going to focus your time and your energy on what you want to create for yourself. Create that attitude, create that emotion, create and drive those actions that will move you closer to whatever it is you want. Second, ask yourself, how do I want to show up? You can imagine that if you are thinking the thought that this is impossible, it's not going to work, there's nobody out there, not going to happen, you might be showing up in ways that are closed, that are negative, that are disempowering, that are reticent, maybe holding back, maybe just in a way that is closed off and not generating that energy and that opportunity to be approachable, to invite people to talk to you, to interact, to exchange. I also think that imagining how you want to show up in a way that you enjoy yourself. Because if you're thinking it's not possible, it's not fun, it's not going to happen, you're going to show up in a way that is heavy. It's not going to be fun. You're not going to enjoy yourself. And do you really want to create that kind of experience for yourself? And regardless, without that attachment to, say, a particular result, can you just show up and enjoy the experience and see it as an opportunity to meet new people, experience new things, have interesting conversations, whatever it is? But how do you want to look at it? And therefore, how do you want to show up? Showing up maybe as the best version of yourself. Third, ask yourself, how can I make it fun? A lot of these things, any of them, whether it's making friends, finding a partner, getting a new job, losing weight, whatever it is, starting a new career, moving across the country, how can it be fun? And I think this will serve you immensely if you ask that question, no matter what you're doing. It gets your mind off of some of the negative aspects, some of the victimhood, some of the things that make it heavy and keep you discouraged and in a low energy. How can you have fun? Takes a lot of the pressure off, focuses your brain again on some of the more positive, energetic, uplifting, and interesting ways you can show up and experience whatever it is that you're experiencing. Fourth, you can ask yourself, does it serve me to think that what I want is hard or impossible? And I mentioned this earlier, like this line of thinking is not going to serve you. So, do you want to continue thinking that? Everybody around you may say that it's true. You may read tons of articles, you may see all sorts of things in the news. You will hear it many times. You've probably heard it many times in the past, but does that serve you? Is that helping you? Does it serve any purpose at all? Probably not. Why keep repeating it? Why hold on to that belief? What if you let it go? What if that feels lighter and easier and just more empowering? It's something to try on anyway and to think about. And then the fifth question is, what if it was easy? Sometimes, again, thinking that it's hard or it's impossible is the experience that you will create for yourself. That's what your brain is looking for. That's what it will create. Not just letting those thoughts go, but what about thinking if it could be easy and trying that on, and how does that feel? To me, when I think that, it's like a release. Yeah, maybe it can be easy. What if it could be easy? I think it's one of those things and one of those thoughts that will get your brain thinking, and it will help to create that experience for yourself. And you will have a different energy again and show up differently. Your energy, your attitude, your focus will be completely different. And you will show up completely different. And therefore, your actions will be different. And ultimately, your results will be different. Can I guarantee you that you will create your friends, your partners, your new job, whatever it is? Maybe not. But I think you have a very good chance, certainly a lot better chance than thinking it's hard or it's impossible. And you'll have a lot more fun along the way. And it will be a life-changing experience for you regardless. So there won't be as much emphasis and attachment to the end result. You can just keep growing and learning and enjoying yourself along the way regardless. But you'll have a much better chance of achieving your result than if you don't. If you hold on to those old thoughts of how hard it is or how impossible it is. So it's important to realize that just because the conventional wisdom may say that something is hard or it's impossible or it's a certain way, or your friends all have ideas and attitudes and opinions about certain things. And just because you all agree doesn't make it. You create your own experience through your thinking and through your emotions. And when you embrace that power that you have to manage your mind, to manage your thinking, create your emotions, create and take the action that you want, you will create the results that you want in your life. You have that power. It takes work, it takes effort. You have to keep going. If that's the result that you want, you have to keep going. But it changes everything. Okay, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. We are headed to the end of the year. It's coming up very quickly and into 2024. I love this time of year. I'm so excited to be spending the holidays with my family and starting a new year. If you want to try coaching yourself, I invite you to click the link in the show notes to my calendar. I offer free coaching sessions if you're interested in trying it for yourself. And I will tell you about my 3-month coaching program. I am taking a few new clients for January 2024. We'll be starting in the middle of the month. If you're interested in that, let's talk. And you get to try coaching for yourself. Bring any issue you wish. And I look forward to speaking to you then. If you have a moment to rate, review, share, or subscribe this podcast, I greatly appreciate it. And I will talk to you next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to This Daring Adventure podcast with your host, Trista Gurton. We hope you enjoyed the tips and conversations on how to get excited about life again. As always, you can head to tristagurton.com for additional resources and to book a one-on-one coaching session. You can also follow Trista on Instagram at Trista V. Gurton. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.